Believe it or not, there is a version of you that is and has everything that you want to experience, to create, and to become. And despite what you may have been led to believe, it doesn't take a lot of effort. It doesn't even take a lot of time. There's not even a lot of distance between you and that version of you because it's actually closer than close. It's actually already here. And in this video, I want to help you collapse the gap and the illusions that you've been believing in that are separating you from the version of you that lives in the reality that you desire to experience. Because it's so much simpler than we have been making it out to be. And in truth, there is really one thing, one key, one essential difference, which is the only thing that creates a gap seemingly between you and that version of you. And in truth, it is simply love. The love of being, the love of becoming, the love of being curious, being adventurous, being creative, the love of everything that is, the love of embracing what is right now. You see, what I really want you to see clearly in this video is that there's actually nothing stopping you from creating and manifesting and becoming every single thing that you want, except for your lack of love for self. You see, when you are willing to embrace and meet and accept and love and move through everything, then there's actually nothing that can or will stop you from realizing whatever it is that you desire. Everything else is but merely self-abandonment, self-rejection, self-criticism. It is that insidious self-deception, which is then projected outwards as obstacles, as enemies, as opposition, as external resistance, which is all an illusion, because it's all really an internal conflict. There is a desire, right? You know what it is that you want. There's a vision, there's a desire, there's a dream. And then there's the belief. And the belief is the kind of construct or expression of the love that you have for yourself. Now, there's two kinds of belief in this sense. There's the belief, which is a particular belief that I love myself, or I am worthy, or I am rich, or I am creative, or I'm not, right? But then there is the more essential belief, which is a kind of creative willpower, faith, conviction. It is the most essential force or power, which is then invested into anything and everything that you do. And there's that famous quote, whether you believe you can or can't, you're right. And this is the belief that I'm pointing to here. And this is the epitome of love. Because if you believed in yourself, or if you believed in general, without having to put anything after that term, whether you believed in life, whether you believed in God, whether you believed in yourself, whether you believed in what's possible, if you just simply believed, and therefore if you were to cultivate unwavering love, you see, love is an all-inclusive energy. It is the most powerful force in the universe, to sound a little bit cliche, but it's true. That if you are willing to love in the face of fear, in the face of doubt, in the face of uncertainty, in the face of anything that could be unpredictable, you see, if you're willing to love yourself, this moment, life, everything that you're presented with, and everyone in your environment, unconditionally, delusionally, then actually what you would find is that there's nothing stopping you or holding you back from being who you truly are, who you want to be, and manifesting what it is that you desire right here, right now. And that is the power of love. And if you search your heart in this moment, and I invite you to open up to this truth right here, right now. What would it feel like to have unconditional, unlimited, unwavering love? To be in love, absolute love right now. Can you feel how powerful that is? Can you feel the infinite strength that becomes available? Can you see what becomes possible if you are no longer willing to judge, criticize, condemn, abandon yourself, all of which is the opposite of love? It is fear. If you are willing to make this your number one priority, your singular focus, your core habit, the tendency that rules all of your life, which is to simply surrender every single thing that comes up to pure love. And if you were to meet yourself in that infinite field of love, right here, right now, and if you were to hold fast to your vision, if you were to tune into your dream, if you were to grasp that desire, and you were to open your heart in love, and you were to act in courage, in faith, with that love in your heart and that vision in your mind, I think what you would find is that absolutely anything becomes possible. And there is absolutely nothing that can stop you. Because you see, anything that could have stopped you, seemingly, is not actually out here. It's simply the permission slip for you to give up on yourself. Because if you're not willing to abandon yourself, if you're not willing to judge yourself, if you're not willing to tolerate any criticism or self-abandonment, then you'll find that any seeming external obstacle or opposition or resistance that the world or others present to you is merely an illusion. It's a mirage. Everyone can have their perspective. Anyone can think or believe what they want about you and what you're doing or what you're capable of or not capable of. But what do you believe? You see, this is the belief that we're coming back around to. Who do you believe you are? What do you believe you're capable of? What do you believe in? And in that belief, can you feel the love of being that becomes prominent, vibrant, available to you when you see that everything that you want to create is merely the degree to which you are willing to be in love with being, to be willing to be in love with becoming, to be willing to be in love with curiosity and adventure, with that courageous childlike spirit within you, which is not concerned about the outcome, about other people's opinions, about how it looks, how it's going, but merely focused on that inner reality, which is the source of fulfillment, abundance, freedom, happiness, joy, love. And you see, when you cultivate that awareness of that inner reality, of that source of everything that it is that you want as an internal state of being, and you see, if you're willing to hold on to that unwavering, unconditional love within you, then what happens is there's like a golden carpet that rolls out before you. And it becomes the path of least resistance. Because you see, that love in your heart, which becomes a kind of shield and a kind of sword, a sword of truth, a shield of strength. It allows you to move through anything imaginary, anything illusory that's out here, that's going to present itself to you along the way, which it will, to try to distract you from that unwavering, unconditional love in your heart. That full commitment to yourself, your true self. That courageous spirit which cannot be broken. Because in truth, it is the timeless, limitless, boundless, infinite being that you are. And when you choose to not lose sight of that truth within you, then nothing can stop you from being, having, experiencing, and becoming all that you desire right now. And you see, that's why I was talking earlier about this perception, this gap between that version of you in time, in space, in experience, and from where you're at, where you want to be. But you see, that gap is not a time or a space gap. It's a gap in perception. It's a gap in the experiential state that you are embodying. You see, the only difference between you and that version of you is the frequency that you're embodying. And the frequency you're embodying is the state of being that you occupy most frequently. And this, most essentially, most simply, is love. Because love gives you access like a trampoline into every higher state that's possible, that will attract to you everything that you desire. Love is the baseline. And if you are willing to embrace yourself, life, and everyone with that love, then, my friend, you are free and you are rich beyond your wildest dreams. And there will be a fulfillment that you cannot even imagine, because it will be so beautiful, so surprising, so shocking, so amazing, that you literally won't be able to dream of what it looks like right here, right now. You will get to discover it. You will get to experience it as an expression, as an unfolding of that love, of the infinite creator that you are. And there's only one way to truly experience this, is to right here, right now, in this eternal present, which is the point of power, which is your heart, to allow yourself to open up to that frequency of pure, unconditional, unwavering love, and let it shine. Let your heart break open and allow that courageous spirit to guide you to see through that path that there's nothing actually to be afraid of. And that really the only thing that stops you is that self-abandonment, is that self-judgment, is that self-criticism. Because I think you find, if you're willing to embrace and love and accept and be delusionally self-forgiving every step of the way, that the world turns inside out and everyone and everything starts to reflect back to you the unconditional, unwavering love that you are holding within your own field of frequency towards yourself and towards everyone. And then no matter what anyone does or says, or what anything happens, no matter what your circumstances are trying to convince you of, no matter what your bank account is trying to convince you of, no matter what anything that's happening in the world is trying to get you to buy into, you will know in your heart that if you continue in faith with conviction, not losing sight of this courageous, creative, unconditional love, that truly anything is possible. And if you're still with me, I think you know exactly what it is that I'm saying, because you can feel it. And when you cultivate this attitude, when you cultivate this inner dialogue, when you commit yourself to feeling like this and stepping onto your path like this, then you too will see that anything is possible. Because in the last year and a half, before I started on YouTube, I could have given up so many times. I could have abandoned myself so many times. I could have convinced myself that I'm not capable, that I'm not worthy, that this is not going anywhere. But every time I was faced with that thought, that belief, I looked at it straight in the eye. And I had a very heartfelt conversation with myself. And I uplifted myself in this love of being. See, in this delusional self-forgiveness, where I was trying to deceive myself into far less than who I truly am. And I want you to recognize that this is literally as simple as it is, and it is all that it takes. If you're willing to meet yourself in this way, not only will you not be stopped, but you will be shocked by what you are capable of creating. So what is it that you desire? What is the best case scenario? And what would that feel like? What would it be like to be that version of you? And will you allow yourself to take inspired, aligned action on that right now? Because if you believed in your heart that was here, And if you loved yourself enough, then you would not hesitate to take action because you would not be concerned about the outcome. You would not be concerned about the perceptions or the objections or the opinions of others. You would be so willing to move forward and find out that you would not be concerned about how it goes, how it looks. See, this is one of my favorite ways of thinking, that you will wonder how to do it until you look back and wonder how you did it. And this has exactly been my experience over the last year and a half. I don't know how I did any of this, except that I loved myself the whole way through and I never gave up. And now there is a life that I could only have dreamt of back then. I couldn't have even imagined it, but it is now here. And the next level of this life that I'm creating is beyond what I'm capable of imagining now. And this is the beauty of the becoming, the endless path that we get to create, and the depths of ourselves that we get to discover when we are willing to open that chamber within our heart of the unconditional, unwavering love within, that love of being. And if you're still with me and you're feeling this now, then I want to invite you to consider. I'm opening up a few spots in a mentorship. This is not even a mentorship, this is a partnership, where for several weeks or several months, we will work together so that you can come into this unwavering attitude with yourself, and you can fully commit to your dream, and you can manifest that reality, starting now. And if you want to work with me in this, comment manifest down below. I'll send you more information about this mentorship, this partnership.